Beginning with Speaker Pelosi's unbelievable monologue yesterday before the bailout vote.
$700 billion, a staggering number, but only a part of the cost of the failed Bush economic policies to our country. Now, 8 years later, the foundation of that fiscal irresponsibility, combined with an anything-goes economic policy, has taken us to where we are today.
Which is chaos. With us now, the doyenne of body language, the queen of physical motion, Tonya Reiman. Now, when we last left Nancy Pelosi, you were saying that her hand gestures don't match what she's saying.
Yeah.
Is the same thing here?
Yeah, I constantly see that. And one of the interesting things I saw tonight was as she's pointing, it's like her fingers are stuttering. So watch as she points. It's almost as if there's a verbal exclamation point that she's trying to make as she makes her point.
There it is. There it comes.
Ba-ba-boom. You see it? Ba-ba-boom. And she does this in this entire speech. I saw this consistently. And I always feel like her gestures are just too rehearsed.
Is it maybe she's just not coordinated?
It's possible. Yeah, that's absolutely possible.
You know who Joe Cocker is? The singer, the rock singer, Joe Cocker, okay? He gets out there and he's doing all this, and he's just not coordinated,
right.
You know?
But your gestures should be more natural. As we're talking, you know, there's certain gestures that are automatic.
Do you think that Nancy Pelosi, while she's giving a stem winder speech like that, knows what her hands are doing?
No, I think that what happens is she practices the speech too much and wants to come across as forceful and powerful and uses gestures that she might think are forceful and powerful.
Okay.
For instance, she started off with a rigid point.
So she's practicing.
I think she does practice, yes.
You know who used to do that, who practiced for hours before making a speech? And I'm not making any comparison here, so don't, you crazy left-wing websites out there, it's not a comparison. Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler practiced for hours.
Well, he was a nonverbal,
all of his gestures and everything else before he went out there. So if you practice your gestures, and then you get out there and you screw them up. Yeah. you should just be natural, right?
Well, his nonverbals were quite different. I mean, he had
but let's get back to Pelosi.
Right, yeah.
She's not natural.
No, they don't come across as natural.
Okay. Let's get with John Kerry and O'Reilly last night. A little shootout. Roll the tape. In 2005, in the Banking Committee, Senator Dodd and all the Democrats on the Banking Committee blocked regulatory action against Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Let's talk about the big picture, Bill, because it's really what's important here. And in that big picture, everybody understands that Washington has been broken for the last years. But, Bill, please, I know you're a man who embraces the truth and you tell the truth. Who's run the Congress for the last 7 years, 8 years?
But it's everybody's fault.
You know,
it's everybody's fault.
No, wait a minute. No, if you don't mind, Bill, I'm going to disagree with you.
All right, now, let's get my hand gestures first.
Okay.
Were they in sync with what I was saying? Or
they were. So what did you do? You started off like this,
right.
And that's your way of saying, come on, give me some answers here. Now, had you done this, it would have been different. This is more submissive.
So
this
one
is just
hand up means
it's like, come on,
I just want
I want
the
some
answer.
answers,
okay,
right? And so then
sense.
you see what happens, John Kerry. Look, see that facial expression?
Yeah.
That's, you know, frustration, anxiety, and then the tongue comes out, and that just tells you, oh, I don't want to deal with this. And we've talked about this. Why does somebody come on if they don't want to deal with it? Consciously, they have to face it. Unconsciously, they don't want to.
He didn't want to deal with that question because that question was a look.
Yeah.
In 2005, you guys voted it down in the committee. That's what he was apprehensive about. Now, when he gets in,
look
Bill,
at this position.
Right. He gets in, Bill. You're a man who seeks the truth. Now, that was what?
Well, you know, as he's doing this, what does he do? He tightens his fingers together. That's like a security blanket. When I see somebody do that, that's their way of blocking you out.
So he's blocking me out?
He's blocking you out. He's fending you off. He doesn't want...
He's not listening to what I'm saying?
No, he's listening, blocking you out. He doesn't want to hear your retort. This is blocking you out.
What's the one thing? He holds up the one finger like that.
Oh, that's usually just, hey, give me a minute to get my point across.
All right, good.
Well, I just have to say this. I love the way you ended. You ended like this, okay? And this is the I'm in power position.
No, I was praying the show would soon end. That's what this is.
The godlike position.
Okay. Now, this is one of the greatest moments I've seen. Greta Van Susteren and Bill Clinton. Roll it.
What is the difference between an association with someone like David Duke and an association with someone like Reverend Wright?
Well, I think that first, we don't have to go there because Senator Obama left the church.
I love that.
Yeah.
He is, and you can just read his mind on, I don't want any part of that question, right?
Well, what was funny about this is, you know, he starts off in typical Bill Clinton fashion with this evaluative
Pensive,
gesture,
right.
right? And then watch his fingers sweep towards his mouth. And that's a big telltale sign. When you see somebody's fingers sweep towards their mouth, they're not really looking to answer that question. It's a sign of apprehension.
Now, he was thinking about it, though, right?
Oh, yeah, that's that look. He does this. He's
and he
famous
looks
for this
down. Look at
gesture.
that. Look
Yeah.
at that.
But
Oh,
again, this is
man.
something he normally does.
Right.
So he looks down, he's evaluating, and then the hand sweeps towards
And
the
then the
mouth.
side.
There we go. Okay.
Right.
And then what does he do? He reaches out, and that's his way of grasping out for an answer.
It was such a good question, and Clinton is so glib, and he's so good at that kind of a thing, but she had him.
Yeah, even at the end, you could see his eyes widened. He's looking
he didn't
down.
want any
Hard
part of that
swallow.
deal.
No, and he's normally very good. He's usually
Absolutely. He's the best in
Yeah.
the business. Well, one of the best. Tonya, thanks very much.
Thank you.
When we come right back, is it legal? Will tell us if the folks should sue some of